Hey, we're alive! Hey, everybody! Welcome to another session of We Play D&D.
It's us.
We're doing that.
Who would have thought?
SCNS plays D&D.
SCNS is quite good. I actually do like that.
Super cool nerd us.
Yeah.
But we're not that cool.
I think we're all pretty.
Okay. We named our show Cool. It has to be true.
You're right.
You wouldn't lie.
I was kind of thought of it as for super cool nerds, not as an epithet we're requesting.
I happen to have been at least one party with all of us there. We're pretty cool.
What if
Yelling over Donkey Kong Country is not as cool as
It's rad as hell.
it is what do the kids say? Bodacious?
Do the kids say that?
We're saying bodacious.
Are the kids saying
I'm
bodacious?
absolutely the ones saying bodacious.
We're so fetch.
Stop trying to make fetch happen.
See, this is... Okay, so... The problem is I do know some actual kids, so I do know what they're saying.
What are they saying?
But I personally don't want to use their slang if I can't do it to inflict harm upon their psyches,
but
and they're
tell
not
all
going to be
of
watching.
us.
It's what the
So
skibbity?
Skibbity.
What the skibbity?
What the skibbity?
Or what the sigma?
Yeah, there's a lot of what the sigma. There's a lot of
it's-
what the sigma at my house.
Weird.
Yeah,
It's
I don't know if I care for that.
it's awful. However, whenever we use it, when they're not expecting it, we watch as they crumble into
Yeah.
dust.
No,
the
yeah.
best part is watching them have like a soul deep cringe.
Yeah.
The only thing that I would want kids for would be to like embarrass or lie to them. So that's why I decided not to be a mom. I can only think of like fun ways to like mess with them, and I can do that as an aunt.
Yeah, my mother did inform me the other day when I had like really like not slim, like kind of baggy jeans, and I was wearing like a faded vintage t-shirt, and with my haircut, she was like, "You know you're from the 70s, right?" I was like, "What?" No, I did not know, but I do now.
So,
I know it, but that's because I really like the fashion of the 70s.
what happened? We crochet on top of everything else.
Oh god.
What happened last session?
You do also have a very 70s head.
Last session, we had just finished up whooping some ancient sea god elemental's ass. That was actually super easy, barely an inconvenience, and
Yes.
and then we.
That fight was embarrassing for the monster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Azra did get a bad bath, if you will, though. So it didn't work out for everybody as easily.
Yeah, there was no above the table shenanigans with that. It wasn't like Cat was like, fuck you. This was
all
supposed to be harder.
Yeah. So
I've
then
never been partially digested.
we got ported to a mountain by Bahamut and
Kellamvor.
Kelimvor.
Coriander.
Celebrimbor.
Celebrimbor.
Do you hear this heretic over here getting the gods' names wrong?
Yes, and
No,
then
that
they
one's
made rings for us with one to rule them all. Celebrimbor.
Yes.
I don't know how many people know that.
I do.
Me too.
I know you know that. You said it.
We had a great time at a party one time.
We had a frank conversation with them about their responsibility, their culpability in the oh my god, what was it called?
Sanitatum.
The sanitatum. I said it so many times last session.
Good.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so many times in the break, it was ridiculous. Like,
Yeah. And some people were like, we forgive you, and at least one other person was like, what, fam? Excuse me?
Christian, you're going to bring your mic up about 2 inches over your shoulder.
I'm going to?
Yeah.
Well, now that you've told me to, I'm not sure that I want to.
Bring it up an inch in
Bring it-
0.75.
Okay.
Just so you're a little bit.
Is everybody enjoying this
no.
audio? Is everybody liking this?
It's really good.
Okay, good.
You just sound a little far away because your mic was a little bit lower than the rest of us.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing?
Yeah,
Okay,
That's gonna sound really weird.
Also, your mic's like going out like that. If you see, like I don't.
Well,
It's because
Yeah.
you're not getting the backing.
okay. Well, let's do heart surgery here.
Why don't you just take your whole shirt off and then that.
I can't believe.
Okay.
No.
So-
Nothing on.
So And
Mia's really good, so that's what I'm happy about.
Well, that's
I'm
all
saying
that
this is good
matters,
enough.
right?
I'm audible this time.
I'm looking forward to catching up, so.
Brought to you by Mia being audible.
I like everybody's reluctance to blow
like
the
the kid at the
speakers
computer.
out, so we're all like, "Woo!"
I'm like the kid at the computer.
Yeah.
Nice.
because he logged into.
So yeah, it was basically a session-long conversation about the Sanitatum and how not even Bahamut and Kelemvor even like fully agreed with how things went down, but I guess they got outvoted maybe. They dropped this, even though we didn't super talk about it that much, but I do remember them dropping that the people who disappeared at the Sanitatum didn't actually get dieted. They were actually moved to the Feywild, and there's like potentially like a whole civilization of the people who used to be here that
We
have now been continuing on
deleted off
Feywild.
the census.
Yeah.
Deleted off the census.
Potentially.
They moved to Guatemala.
That's what.
If what they were saying is true, that would
Then-
make sense.
Yeah, that's
that-
what they told us. Yeah.
That like nobody would have magic to actually be able to get back to the Feywild for quite some time, and assuming they weren't allowed potentially to travel back, then
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
they
So yeah,
might
the
not
Christian
be
would
like
like to go ahead.
fully regular anymore if they've lived in the Feywild for a really long time.
That's a problem for
you
later.
guys don't know how long though, from their perspective or from whoever's
Yeah,
there.
classically.
Classically,
Feywild time.
quite a different time period, or time
Rip
goes by
Van
at a
Winkle
different rate.
rules.
Either way, it's going to be weird though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no normal way about it because nothing about it was normal from the first place.
Well,
Right.
this game isn't normal. We're not normal. I can't create a normal world. But yeah, I think that about. And then at the very end, yes, go on.
Octavia told Azra to like, dude, be chill,
That's right.
because we need to.
No, in front of the gods.
Yeah.
Ronnie argued with Azra.
But they were so nice to tell me I had a permission to be angry.
They were so nice.
They were so nice and comforting about that.
We care about Azra's feelings.
I don't know if that was so much permission as like if we weren't allowing you to just have whatever feelings you're gonna have, you wouldn't be feeling like you are.
You know what's another word for allowing? Permission.
Tolerating.
But also to the like true believers in the group was somewhat reassuring to them that you weren't about to get smoked or
Sure.
get their toys taken away.
It is nice to know that you would not have been like smashed into a pancake. Not that we thought that would happen, but the reassurance is nice.
Not that we thought that would happen.
Did we rest at any point after the whole battle thing?
No.
You didn't need to.
I'm down like about a little less than half HP. Because you healed me up. I lost a lot more than half, and then you healed me up a bit.
That's my thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the consequences of being a wizard.
Yeah.
That's true.
However, we are.
I've got a hangnail.
You
I need to
guys got
rest.
toys. Two of you got toys. You were formally asked to be like the
I guess I'm
champions
listening
of your respective deities and got some one-on-one time, some face time. Ronnie got a hug. Azra got lots of feelings of betrayal and anger, and once again just wanting to be the strongest person that exists. Octavia got diplomat points. Yeah,
For the one time she kept her mouth shut.
and then
What can those be redeemed
And a fully
for?
formed face again.
that's I cannot say, but it does seem to be what Octavia's been chasing since day one. So like,
Which is a good. I think that is both good and
it's
easy
also
to
like her job, kind of, for a long time. So
Healthy to want,
it
possible to
feels good.
achieve.
get that one. Yeah.
She gets medals from her monastery.
I get stickers.
Redeem them for
Little
personal
bits of gold
satisfaction.
Well, because
Yeah.
she'll get little pins to put on her sash.
badges.
You're chasing gold stars in real life and in game.
Yep.
And then at the end, the gods, on your request, sent you first to Vayer, so that Azra could have a like blueprint of it, and then to Delistona, kind of a like, let's say like a 10-minute walk ish from your dad's house. And we're going to pick back up right there. It is at this point, because you left in the morning, you went and fought, you had a conversation with the gods. It's still only like noon.
Yeah.
Goodness. A busy day.
It's a very busy day. Time moves by slowly.
Don't lean too far back.
The camera is like right where you are, but with the way spacing is.
Okay.
This is
Oh,
what
yeah,
the
we're
people come
good.
here for.
Also
Alright.
scoot a little bit towards
They
me.
came.
Yeah.
They came for
They
this.
didn't get the show they were hoping for when you were moving your mic around, so now they're trying to
Well, you-
like.
Brought you on here because you're pretty. We bring
Clearly.
aesthetically pleasing.
So yeah, we'll say early, mid-afternoon, like 2:00, and you bamf to an area that Ronnie knows very well, and the rest of you have never seen.
Hey, where are we? Christian said in game. And then Azra said,
Everybody looked around and was like, who the fuck is this guy?
It's a random ginger.
I've never thought of myself as a ginger before.
Yeah, you're ginger.
I hate to tell you about how red your beard
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's always top of head in my mind. Beards don't count, but that's probably just inaccurate.
Random person. Can I inflict pain on you?
Yeah.
Inflict wounds.
Hey, so where are we?
We're in Delastona. So this is actually part of the... Okay, so if you go that way for about 15 minutes, there's the beach. But if you go 10 minutes this direction, that's where my dad lives.
You didn't tell us we'd be having a beach episode today.
Who are you talking to?
Yeah.
I'm not here.
The consciousness at the center of the universe.
Yeah.
You guys have high enough passive perception. You can hear a little bit of kind of the far off, like little like waves, normal tide stuff of a beach, and the
It is
trees
a-
around here are quite tropical.
Yeah, it's very lush, and there is a lot of, there are a lot of edible plants nearby, so you will notice a lot of fruit.
What kind of fruit is nearby? Alibroth will be interested in this.
All the tropical ones.
Is there a
Like-
whole pineapple nearby?
I think it might be an interesting. Yeah, there's pineapples definitely. There's probably also dragon fruit. Huh?
Why would you do that?
Who is getting dragon seeds and planting them?
Do you know where that came from?
No.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Would you like? Are we going to that?
Well, I kind of figured we could go wherever y'all wanted to go, because we're not terribly far from many of the places that we might want to go.
Well,
Why don't we take a little jaunt to your dad's house? and
Okay.
Say hello.
oh, lovely.
Or do you want to? Is it like a private thing? Oh,
It's fine.
I don't know. Okay.
You know your dad gets a little like awkward around new people,
Yeah.
but he's not a people disliker. He's just kind of, and I don't know that Ronnie's ever had the chance to be like, this is my friend, Dad, because
He hasn't, and it would also not occur to Ronnie that his dad might feel more awkward with a lot of people.
yeah, like your dad, the only thing that Ronnie would know is like he's responsible for like status updates for the just island and anything that needed to be fought or threats. So you've seen him over prepare for like presentations, and that's
Yeah.
about it.
Well, and anytime that I've seen him interact with like a lot of people, it was like work mode.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't have been on his back foot socially.
Yeah. Yeah. And your dad's name is? Mm-hmm.
Oh, Halim.
Yeah.
Who's your daddy and who does he work for?
His name's Halim. He works for the king, technically.
Does it? I sort of
Yeah.
thought that he was just a
No, we're
guy in the woods that ate
it's-
the things that were in the
We
woods.
proceed.
no, it's like a royal.
Start walking.
Yeah, I'd be like, okay, so my dad's name is Halim.
Okay.
I can't tell him y'all's names until we're there. And then this like foresty beach area is protected land. So he's like a park ranger.
Oh.
Okay.
He's also a ranger.
The whole island is very like local government, like it's like Guam. It's technically under the U.S. protection. I don't really mess with it much.
It's a federal job.
We recognize
because
you over there.
there's not like a state government type of situation. I don't think he like reports to the king, but I know he technically.
Just make sure that the land is
Yeah, we
doing
just
okay.
It's an honorable profession.
yeah.
This is no sort of derision. This is a lack of understanding.
Oh,
It's okay.
no,
We're
I was
familiar with doors in round buildings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Vader has, yeah, I don't think they have, like, jurisdiction over anything, except there's probably a couple smaller islands. But yeah, like, just what you know about how governments interact leads you to believe they probably get, like, kind of a better deal on, like, produce in Lacros. But really, for the most part, nobody's trying to hostile take over these places, but if they were, in theory, it would be along that route. So.
Yeah, so the forest itself, we monitor like the plants and the wildlife from making sure that like no one's attacking, but also just to make sure that like everything's thriving. So we do, we've done kind of like a food forest in a section of the jungle, so that there's a bounty that we can send back to the mainland if and when called upon to do so.
Is this some sort of local delicacy?
Yeah, everything.
All right.
I imagine your island specializes in like some sort of sushi and fresh.
Yeah, we
like-
do also do a lot of fishing. It is an island. It'd be weird if we didn't.
Alibroth is food motivated, so
Yeah,
What?
he'd probably eat a whole damn
the town proper isn't super close, but it wouldn't be more than a day to travel there if we wanted to like go into town for some reason. I've only ever done that to go to the post office.
Sure. It took you a day every time?
Well,
2 days?
no,
Okay.
you can get there and back in a day, but it's
Okay.
gonna be kind of a long.
Well, should we rest
Kind of a
here
long walk.
overnight then? Should we secure some sort of lodging?
I mean, we're gonna go
You're-
meet
you're-
my dad.
He would be okay with us intruding upon his personal space?
A weird thought that occurs to Ronnie is that part of your dad's job is to make sure that species don't invade. There's not invasive species. And I think maybe in that moment it occurs to Ronnie, I've never brought people home.
Oh,
Like-
invasive. Oh,
Or you have, but they were people your dad already knew.
Yeah. It also occurs to Ronnie that like the house is not big. It's not big. It's a very small family of 2 people.
You do know you and your dad each have a hammock that is very easy to put up in between trees. That's how your dad, if he's around the island, tends to sleep. And you also have permanent hammocks that are at your house. So you could, in theory, they're probably not super used to just like, hey, just sleeping outside, but you've done it
Yeah.
countless times.
If he's not able to put everyone up, then we can go into town. It won't take long, but it's like a good hour and a half of walking if you're not walking like super slow.
There's also a number of like horses that kind of just wander around but are technically broken at your dad's not broken, but like bridle and saddle trained. That's broken. That's what it's called. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like there's ways to do everything faster, but the whole island, like all of you feel like a not any kind of weird, just like calm that is like, this is just
You're
people
like, oh,
minding their own business.
this is a tropical paradise full of people who are
Always
not
walking
trying
there.
to talk to you.
Fantastic.
Alibroth's probably speaking to people as you walk by. Hello.
There's
good
not
morning.
people.
There's no
Yeah,
people.
No people.
No people.
We're in the forest.
Oh, we're in the forest still. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Also, we don't live close to town.
Oh, well then.
So it's-
Looking for a pineapple then.
Look on the ground.
There will be any trees still.
I don't know
Pineapples
anything about
grow.
pineapple.
Pineapples grow on bushes.
I have no idea.
Yeah, they're short.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
I would-
tallest they get.
I would recommend, not for you, I think you could handle it, but like anyone else, like don't eat a ton of pineapple all at one time, because it kind of makes your mouth hurt.
I spit poison, so I think I
Yeah.
Yeah. Was he?
Well,
You're
he said
immune
he'd be
to
fine.
acid? Is he immune to acid?
Do you mean like
Makes sense.
strawberries?
Huh?
Like strawberries?
Do strawberries make your mouth hurt?
A little.
Oh.
What?
That might be something different.
Might need to see an apothecary.
The
about
strawberries
that.
have never made my mouth hurt, so I don't know if it's a similar case. But
You
I
don't have mouth
Did they
sores,
taste
do you?
spicy? Ori says something for the first time in forever.
Not really, but if I eat enough of them, I start to like kind of itch. And
How many?
About
Oh,
20.
That's called an
Fiber.
allergy. Don't eat strawberries.
Who eats 20 strawberries in a row?
They're
I could very easily
good
eat
for
20
you.
strawberries.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
lots of fiber.
I did that one time. I tried to make you a chocolate covered strawberry, and then he remembers and just trails off and kind of.
So we're just
You've
walking
gotten a
along.
good set of chocolate covered strawberries at some
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
Ew.
Yeah, so the pineapple is good for tenderizing meat. It's got like an enzyme that can do that, and it will do that to your mouth. So don't eat too much of it at one time, but it is really good.
So are you saying that the pineapple is trying to digest us?
No.
Okay.
That's what I heard as well.
What? In
I mean,
character, Alibroth said,
technically,
It's trying to punish you for eating it.
if it's a breaking down, yeah. It's not no.
It doesn't have a mouth. It can't try to digest you.
I don't know, the water didn't have a mouth and it tried to digest Azra.
That was a creature in the water, though.
That's true.
Was water though?
Yeah, I was gonna say it was
Maybe
admittedly a
some
creature
people
made of
deserve to
water.
be digested.
Did you see a mouth?
That was a 180. Very fast. Octavia walks a little faster.
We're probably there already.
You guys look around, you start to see some not entirely unfamiliar like wildlife, but stuff you haven't seen much of or very rarely. You recognize the sounds of different birds. So I guess you don't recognize different birds.
You recognize that that's a bird.
And you recall that from the beginning, like Ronnie's skill with a bow and arrow against like small game makes a lot of sense. It would just be a bow and arrow feels like right here in some ways. But
bow and arrow. Ronnie, get me one of those, please. Large one.
so yeah.
What? What?
Nothing.
About then you see a house like kind of emerge almost from nowhere. It just kind of blends. It's old wood, and you almost don't see it till you're right up on it. It's just it's lovely, small-ish but not tiny, like little cabin just hanging out.
Where?
Yeah, it's square.
Yeah, okay.
It's square.
You don't see your dad immediately.
Okay. I will call out for him. Dad!
After a second, you hear it. Yeah, hang on.
Okay.
Who has a passive perception above 20? Is it like everybody?
No, mine's not quite
Not
there.
even. Passive insight, maybe.
My
Perception, yeah.
My passive perception.
Mine's only an 18.
A very, very subtle noise of peeing. Got a nat 1 on it, what he was doing when you showed up. Check.
I have my friends with me.
Uh-huh. Cool.
We're not looking.
What?
Nothing.
Not looking at what?
It's fine.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, cool. And coming around your dad washing, he has like leaves. They're leaves that are more like acidic and like are naturally kind of cleansing. And he has a typical like thing he does. It's pretty hygienic of a dude, but like in very crunchy hippie ways. Wiping his hands off with leaves, comes around and he's like, oh, hello. Oh. And then he just kind of looks all at you. He makes an audible and then he just goes and just engulfs Ronnie in a huge hug. Hi, you're here.
I'm here.
How did you get here?
That is a long story, but let me like introduce everyone.
But you weren't here.
I wasn't here until like maybe 15 minutes ago.
Okay, that makes more sense. Your dad doesn't know a ton about magic. He's like, okay. Cool. And you get, again, this feeling that you've had ever since you were a child. Like, my dad has this whole island, like, just on tap. He knows what's going on everywhere. And so he knew no ships today. He knew nothing out there killing people. He's just a wanderer, and he loves it. So, yeah, he backs up, and he's like, there are so many of you. I knew he had friends.
Horse.
Yeah, like that he'd been traveling with them. You guys are all back together.
Yeah,
And you added? He looks at Ori, and Ori just kind of steps back.
Branna.
He goes and just hugs you. He doesn't ask. He doesn't anything. Hi!
Ron is here for it.
Yeah.
Alibroth.
He goes, with you, he's a little more hesitant. You don't know why.
I reach out. Yeah, very pleasant to meet you, sir. Helene, right?
Yes.
Pleasure to meet you.
You too, as well. Also.
Octavia.
He kind of, and then he's like,
Azra.
Pleasure to meet you, Helene.
hello.
And then that's Ori. He doesn't usually travel with us, but he's with us right now.
And he reaches out. Ori's a pretty social guy immediately, like with a smile, just like reaches out and shakes his hand, says, pleasure to meet you, sir. And he goes, so, hi, you're not in trouble. Are you in trouble? Did you get a new bow?
I did.
So
we
cool.
haven't not.
That's what every father wants to hear. Cool. Well, come in. I don't have anything fresh. Well, I do. No, take that back. Come inside. And your dad is always in the process of kind of drying. He's not a vegetarian. He's got some that is probably heavily salted that he was going to make some sort of jerky, but like it's open. You walk in, it smells incredible. He's been spicing meat, so. And he's like, this will take, how do you like your meat? Rare?
In abundance.
Raw? He kind of
rare.
smiles your way.
Quite rare.
Do you mean rarely? I meant temperature.
Yes.
Like, okay.
A lot of pink.
Okay. And he goes. start is like cool, and he already has a fire going. Like, as you guys are all sitting there, all of a sudden, this giant Siberian husky-looking dog that you had not seen before comes in and like jumps on your dad's shoulders, like paws on his shoulders, and he's like, get off.
Oh, jerk.
And But yeah, you see your dad's got a new little kind of companion.
Who's this?
This is Oni. He's no relation.
Christian, could you stop him? That little jackass of a cat.
Hi,
Pets aren't
Eli.
here because they're helpful. In this world or any other, they're here because we love them. And he's like, oh look, Oni, up, 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 up. And he's taught the dog to jump up on its hind legs and like kind of spin in a circle for some of his meat.
Oh.
And gives it to him and then drops and rubs his ears. And he's like, good boy.
He's
And
so cute.
He looks up at you and he's like, he's not as good company as you, but
He's company.
yeah, I figured. I mean, you said I spend a lot of time by myself, and I do, and that's fine. But like, it's nice to have a
buddy.
puppy.
Thanks, bud.
And he's like, that's your brother Ronnie. Go say hi to Ronnie. And he kind of walks up and investigates each of you. He does stop for longer on you. And then, yeah, just a friendly little boy. And he gets up to Azra, roll animal handling. Or not Azra, Octavia. Octavia has to roll animal handling.
Oh, woof.
Every fucking time.
And yes, I do pick on Octavia for this.
8. Oh. I have a +5.
Halim kind of tosses you like pocket bacon to feed him. And he does take it from you, but he does that like sniffs, grabs it and pulls it back. I'm like, he's not crazy about you.
Hello. Dog.
But yes, he's.
Oni.
I mean,
Oni.
he's not. Yeah, he's. And you look at him, and his face does have like kind of the masked Siberian look, where it's super specific. And he's like, I didn't name him. Somebody was they were they found him offshore somewhere, like swimming. I don't know what happened, but he was really little when I got him, and now I'm just scared. How big is he gonna be? What's going on? What are we doing?
Yeah. Well, a lot's happened. I told you about how Rock, who had
Yeah, from you all met.
yeah, who had died. He has been brought back, and
Like-
the
In a good way.
yeah,
Oh.
and the changeling who had like framed us, he's dead
Your
now.
dad like kind of does a spit, like a little spit on the floor when you bring up the changeling, and it just very like cultural moment of fuck that guy.
And so we were investigating the sanitatum, and we were trying to go to this like big library from before that had happened.
I thought there were no libraries from before.
There's apparently one, but it's like
Azra, roll an insight check as somebody who would have feelings about that being brought up. I think potentially.
I'm inciting on myself?
No,
Okay, 22.
he doesn't care. He cares about his son.
Okay.
But yeah, like, even as Azra, like, he's just like, I thought there weren't any. And he's like, well, apparently there is one. He's like, oh,
news.
interesting.
But like it's really difficult to get to and like dangerous to go there. We were able to like get there, but not all of us could get in.
It's really small.
No, it's like magic. It's being protected from gods. So a cleric is like not invited. And then probably not Branna either because he's like part celestial. Is that right? Okay.
Yeah, they're wards on the islands against certain type of. They had an undead thing like 100 years ago or something, and now there's wards. So like.
Yeah, this
I've
place was
seen
warded.
this type of creature or thing can't come in.
Yeah.
I don't know anything more about it than that, but like,
Yeah, I don't really understand exactly how it works either. But
I send a message to Ronnie really quick. I say, perhaps let's mention less of the library for now. Don't want your dad to know too much,
well, Ronnie will not give you any sign that he has heard that. But we weren't all able to get in, so we just kind of came here because it's nearby to the places that we might be wanting to go, so that we could figure out what we're doing.
We're hoping
so like a timeout, like an in between, like a.
we're hoping to maybe rest, and then.
At 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
I
I mean, you're welcome to. I don't know.
Yes, oddly.
I could use a rest.
I think you can't.
We had a
get us
really-
where we need to go today.
We had a really busy morning.
That's fair.
Actually, probably not. Let me check. I could.
You feel like in your bodies that although you do need rest, you wouldn't be able to sleep yet. Like, not because of a supernatural reason, because of D&D rules thing. Like, you can benefit from a long rest once every 24 hours. So, like, you could take a nap. You could take a short rest. But
You feel
won't
like you're
be able
tired,
to-
but not the tired where you can sleep it off.
Yeah, you have kind of that PTSD tired, too, where you're not feeling that social, maybe, or whatever PTSD tired looks like for you. For me, it looks like staring at a wall and not doing anything for a long time. But yeah, Ori's immediately like, yeah, the hammock I saw outside, is that up for grabs? And you realize Ori probably hasn't slept since you dropped him off. And it's probably running on about 28, 29 hours of no sleep. And that might have even been a contributing factor to him not doing so well with being scared a few hours ago. And he's like, great, nobody go anywhere without me, maybe, something. That's cool.
Alibroth,
Yes.
do you have magic energy available to maybe send some messages?
Absolutely.
Okay. Ember probably needs to be contacted, and the only person that I know that might have access to the Council of Vea, which I do believe we're going to talk to, would be my father.
Okay. I can do that. Could you, what do you want me to send? Or just have it, write it down or whatever? Or...
I don't have
Wait,
the
I have to do the sending. I have to.
Like, I'm right? The only person that I know that has anything to do with the council would be my dad.
You don't really know. Ember mostly is involved in Lacros, but
Yeah.
like, she had access to the king,
Sure.
like instantly. So it seems like she would be your first check-in. You know, your father could get a meeting with them.
Yeah, so I think maybe Ember first, and then if she doesn't have connections.
Got it. Alibroth casts gate and pulls Ember through.
There's no saving throw for gate?
I'm kidding. Nope.
Okay.
Nope. There is.
Also, remember, gate. You can only make a gate to a different
Oh, yeah.
plane. You
Yeah,
can't make a gate to
I'd
somewhere
have to go
on the
there,
spot.
pull it through, then pull it through the other one. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got enough to. What is it? I could do 2 sending spells. So
Okay.
Ember and your
Ember,
dad.
Ember first, and then if that doesn't work, maybe my father.
Okay.
Um.
Please dictate what you would like for me to send.
Ooh. Okay.
I'm gonna ask her, is it cool if we just like kind of hang out in here for a little bit?
Your dad smiles and he's like, stay forever.
Okay.
Probably not forever.
Not forever.
Stay for however long is good for you guys.
Okay,
You
cool.
know, like, you're not gonna bother me, and if I got bothered, then I would just,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Okay.
I have my little piece of copper wire. I like that sending requires copper wire.
Message requires copper wire.
Yeah.
No, sending. That's one of the
Oh,
components.
really?
Yeah.
Interesting. That's
Voice
so
and,
meta. That's,
Ronnie's gonna pull out some floor cushions for everyone to sit on.
it's very, like, cushiony, right? Like, cushiony and, like, tapestry, like, vibes that double as, like, blankets and kind of stuff. Very cozy inside.
Ron is petting the dog.
The dog is just here for it. Like,
It's giving Bohemian. It's giving Turkish.
yeah.
Yeah. Like fully legs crossed, sitting on it, just like.
Like me at parties. Yes, I get it.
Yes.
Puppy.
Especially when the puppy just lays there and just is like in heaven with just getting pet.
You would think a husky would be uncomfortable here, but it actually stays relatively moderate all the time, so. But yeah.
Okay. These words. From Octavia. We need to talk to the Vea Council. Can you get a meeting? It has to do with the sanitatum.
How many words is that?
That's 21. No, the 22.
22?
That's 22 words. Because I cast. No, how many words?
And how counting works.
Then I have the other. I have the other 3.
What?
I have the other 3. Ember, it's Alibroth, and then I communicate her message.
Sure.
I was gonna say, how's it going? How's the family?
Yeah, sorry.
By the by, we
By the by is a great way to waste words.
Yeah.
That's like when you're writing an essay, you're like,
another sending spell. Hi, Ember. Didn't quite get
yeah,
everything.
that's gesture core.
Okay.
You get a message back after like
All right, burn that slot.
it's a good like 5 or 6 minutes, and it's kind of an awkward like waiting thing, and then you hear, you will receive scrying attempts if we can come where you are. It would be good. Us is Axel. And Ember probably doesn't know how to count words either for it. And yeah, that's all it says.
That's the what is it called? Drow? That helped us during the dragon fight.
Huh?
Well,
The one that came in and helped us all and then
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
bounced.
I mean, yes.
Lest.
Bounced is weird in that accent.
Kind of bounced in originally.
I'm surprised he's still around. I thought we summoned him from a different dimension or
It's just
something.
Well,
like,
Emma did.
it's like plane of existence or
Yeah.
dimension or something time.
I feel like I should know that. Anyway.
Yeah.
But so they're gonna scry on one of us.
What the two of you know is that it would make sense to wait a few minutes if it would take him 10 minutes to scry and whatever, like...
I could scry that way, and we could do like a video call.
Oh, wait, actually? Oh, wait, actually?
Yes!
I don't think it would work like that.
No, I think it
It would
does.
absolutely work like that.
'Cause you
The
can hear-
You
sensor
just
goes to
both
where they
failed the
are.
wisdom checks or the saving throws.
Yeah, don't even
and
try.
you have a video
Oh,
call.
God. We
I
haven't
mean,
been...
right, that's such a waste of what is it, a 5th level spell?
Two 5th level spells.
After,
video conferencing.
it's only like another
Yeah, that's a
45 seconds or so when Octavia gets a message that's like, hey, this is Axel. If you have like Ring of Mind Shield, take it off, please, if it's okay. If that were there. You don't.
I don't.
Am I going to do the scrying back towards him?
Don't do that.
I say I don't. I have nothing that helps my brain is nothing. No. Yes. Do it.
Good.
With a
Interesting choice
casual
of words.
disregard for spell slots, he answers you back, and he's like, "You don't. You have many things. You have your mind. You're good at the. You could probably protect from this anyway. And anyway, as I was saying, if it's okay, we just don't like to be places. Yeah. At some point, very soon, that happens,
That's good. Yes.
and it occurs to you this very high level individual who sent it and should know how his spell works.
Thank you.
Sorry, got cut off. Anyway, you have a lot. I will see you soon.
Thank you again.
Your dad's like, what is happening?
There's a spell where you can talk to someone
Yeah.
in the
okay.
head.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to answer out loud, but
Oh shit.
I mean, like, you gotta talk to yourself, right? Like,
yeah. Otherwise, who else are you gonna talk to?
yeah.
Have I been talking out loud this whole time? Every time?
Yes. Yes, you have.
Yeah.
And an increasingly formal voice as well.
It's actually fairly common. It helps count the correct number of words. Because if you're just freewalling in your own head, it's very easy to just lose track of how many words you've said.
There are more.
It's like
There are more coming. Is that right?
2, I think.
Do they eat meat?
Oof.
Okay, you know Ember does, but like,
Ember does. I don't know about the other
I
one.
mean, if they don't, it's not like they're gonna be lacking for food.
They can eat pineapple, but only a little bit.
It's kind of like when people started first using cell phone headsets. I'm scrying.
yeah.
yeah.
And at most, 19 strawberries.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, and there's still more pillows and cushions and stuff, but he goes, hey, Oni. And Oni kind of like yawns and gets up and goes over there and he gives him a piece of meat and he goes, go patrol. And Oni takes off. And he's like, I just didn't want it to be crowded. He's at 85 pounds already. Like, he's going to be,
Yeah, he's
I don't know how
That
big
means something to That's a good size for
I just didn't want to.
That's
Okay.
a lap dog for me.
Yeah.
Cool.
Branna playing mental chess. You could sit outside with the dog.
Yeah.
I
How
mean,
much information does Branna really need to know?
Exactly. Like,
I was gonna say, Branna does know with confidence that no one would stop him from doing that.
Yeah.
yeah, but he also understands that he has to be.
He did see the urgency in Oni too. Like,
Yeah.
he was probably clearly trained to get some distance to check out, like, further things than he could see. But you do feel that, oh, doggy.
Yeah.
And you feel some the voices kind of be like, oh.
It's okay. Working dogs like to work.
Do you know how soon they will be here?
I have probably less than 6 hours. I don't know. I have no
Okay.
idea. I'm sorry. It seemed something they wanted me to not do things to prevent them from singing. So presumably they're going
From
to try
singing?
to see me
Oh,
and then come to where I am. So that it seems like it's not very long.
Oh, they could be here within minutes or an hour. Yeah.
Doing the math, you would assume. Scrying, teleport.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
pretty standard.
Although
Does
if they
scrying give you coordinates to a random?
it gives you
No,
some
hut in the
familiarity.
woods.
See it,
Teleport, yeah, teleport's only like you have to be familiar, and familiar is somewhat vaguely defined.
Yeah, scrying doesn't technically allow for
This-
atmosphere, but I like to go with Matt Mercer's more like a little
Yeah.
broken. See some of the stuff around them.
There is a chance that the teleport could not work, so they could be warping here, and then they might be somewhere far away on the island, and they would have to do a lot of walking. Maybe wandering around. Maybe Oni would find them before we did.
Oh
But-
yeah.
You were talking about seeing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I misheard you.
They would see me.
Yeah, I thought they were trying to tell you to not do anything to prevent them from singing, but I didn't know how
Oh.
that would.
Oh,
He
they
did
are those
strike you
bots.
as a like singer.
Yeah, I only have one method of preventing people from singing.
It seemed like it would be a weird thing to request whenever
Yeah.
they're not here.
Yeah. Mine is fairly close proximity how I stop people from singing.
Imagine there's a bar in a tavern and singing is awful, and you fucking stunning strike him off the stage.
Well, Liam has been kind of whistling. He has a self-soothe kind of thing that he does, and all of a sudden that just cuts out.
No, please. Whatever. I'm not going to hurt you.
I'm so sorry, Dad.
No, she just prefers to be stabbed on her own.
He goes, no, I'm glad that your friends that you brought aren't going to prevent me from making music in my house.
Octavia walks outside.
He looks at you and
There
he's
she
like, this person is more homeschooled than you were. Like, kind of vibes to that is like a...
I didn't know what to do.
I was kidding.
It's okay. Horses are more relaxed than she is.
So she needs space?
Sometimes horses make
And apples?
I mean,
not strawberry.
they're...
How familiar are you with
I
horses?
can take her some dried
don't know.
meat to make her feel better.
You can have as much meat as you want.
Okay, grab some.
Like you see, there's a bunch of like jerky strung up. It's kind of an open concept living room, kitchen area, but there are bedrooms.
I do grab some and go take some out to Octavia.
It's about another like 2 or 3 minutes, and then do you fail? Do you auto fail?
Yeah,
or
I'm
do
not
you?
auto fail any wisdom. Well, really any check.
Yeah, it's yeah, you probably don't know exactly what it is coming through, but you're like, this is a thing. It's a thing I was warned about happening. That happens. And yeah, you don't know what's happened, but you know something triggered, and then nothing else happens for another 45 seconds. Alibroth comes out and kind of wordlessly hands you some.
I have a large amount in my left hand, and I give her a piece. But just a second. Okay, that's it. It's really good.
Halim's like, they're all strange. You guys are all strange.
Used to it.
And you see, like, something weird that you notice is that he had not made that observation before now. You're used to getting a whole lot of, you guys, a bunch of freaks. And he didn't have that assessment. He got to know you first and then decided you're a bunch of freaks. And he kind of glances at the two of you and he's like, no offense.
I'm taken.
Okay. You probably heard it. And, well, you've probably heard it too.
Get fucking
Sure.
Glowing symbol on her forehead.
Yes, I'm used to it. I sometimes around them, I'm allowed to forget about it.
He's like,
Not today, bitch.
he's like, weirdness doesn't define you. I honestly don't think Ronnie would be comfortable. I mean, it can if you wanted to. I'm just saying, like, I had trouble picturing my son, like, in a big, like, group of people, and I think it's because they were just. You guys were all just like kind of.
You were imagining like regular people, not weirdos.
Yeah, and I was like, well, I'm happy he made all these cool friends or whatever, but like, it just seemed weird. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't think I would describe any of this as cool.
I beg your pardon.
You're not even in here.
Your dad with
I'm
like
just not-
kind of a hint of scandal is like, so is anybody like dating? Is anybody?
So,
Guys, just stuffing your.
I'm just asking because it's like a bunch of people all around the same
Yahoos.
age, like strange but not unattractive, like different.
the guy outside has dated Azra. There's drama there.
Not inaccurate.
Sell the drama.
Speaking of, I'm gonna go. And Nazar walks outside.
And
It's just you and Ronnie.
Octavia, the tense one.
The high up.
Yeah, her. She used to have a crush on Azra, who just walked out. That was very awkward, but only on one end, because Octavia is really awkward. And then it became awkward on both ends whenever Octavia told Azra about it, like apologizing for making her uncomfortable, a thing she had not previously done.
Been there. Yep, done that.
That was a really weird conversation to walk up on, but that's beside the point. No biggie. And then y'all had like a thing at some point while I was like here.
There's a physical thing, I think.
I don't know. I feel like there's.
Ooh, his dad rolled an 18. He kind of glances you over and he's like, while you guys are all split up. Just once, yeah. Yeah, I get it. It's like any awkwardness there. It'll go away. That happens. Happens.
I think Alibroth made a random girlfriend, but I haven't seen her again.
Muscle mommy.
She was just a lady at a tavern.
So you guys
very
are
tall.
all like. Oh, I guess not if Octavia had a crush on them, so not all. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Seems weird in such a large group that everybody just down the line likes the. Anyway,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, apparently Alibroth likes tall people who are very buff.
I mean, your mom's tall.
She is. She's quite tall. She's quite tall.
You know, and flighty.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
hard
what
to-
else could she be?
Well, I mean, you know her now.
Yeah.
And I guess you met her as well.
Oh yeah,
She is hot.
she is very beautiful.
And she is weirdly kind.
In a kind of way that makes you think that she might be able to see through you if she weren't focusing.
On herself in the mirror?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Meanwhile, what does Azra go outside to do?
Going to talk to Ori because we still actually haven't had the full conversation about why she even kidnapped him.
Isn't
Roll
he
a
napping?
luck check.
Yeah.
I think that he is unlikely to be awake, and if Azra...
14?
No, he's passed out. You can wake him. That is an option.
I don't want to wake somebody to have a bad conversation. So,
Like,
Azra will refrain.
No.
it's not in Ori's nature to, like, in a group of people, be the first one to excuse himself just to go sleep. So I think Azra wisely is like, man, this sucks. I wanted to talk. He's already mad at me.
Maybe he won't be when he sleeps it off.
It's entirely possible. Like, but yeah, he is full snoring, tiny bit of drool coming from the hammock.
If I see Azra come outside, I do
Sexy.
that.
Making it awkward.
Azra, take out a little kerchief and just the drool.
Aww. There's not passive perception high enough in the world. Like, but yeah, he doesn't drool often. It's when he's just really tired. It's like after finals, kind of passed out. But it is comforting to know that he felt calm here, and like this was a place he could. Anyway, as you kind of turn around, it kind of, well, now what? You see like a flash of light, and then not that far from you, a few yards, you see, in fact, what is Axel and Ember. And because today is abbreviated, we're going to break right there.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
We're going to go to break.
We're going to go to break. We'll be back very soon. And we're back! Hey, so picking right back up where we left off. Yeah, you guys who are outside see, and you guys who aren't outside don't see, sure enough, Axel and Ember. We're going to double check it. We're double checking sound just to make sure. You got it?
Yeah,
good?
We're good.
Yeah. Show up and, yeah. Kind of look around, get their bearings, and head towards you. Closest to you.
Gets from sitting up off the ground eating jerky and runs over to Ember.
She kind of stops almost to like a little bit brace herself because you're quite large to like be ready for any momentum for you to just run up to her and hug her.
And hip toss me. No, I run.
Caitlin.
I'm very tempted to make her, because she probably could, but like no. Yeah,
and
just
run up and hug Ember.
Yeah, she gives you a big hug. Big hug, pretty long hug, backs up and it's like, Alibroth, I'm happy to see you I'm happy.
It is very good to see you.
Axel glances at
And
her
I
and
let her
goes,
back down.
you just get tongue-tied? You get tongue-tied. And,
good to see you again.
yes, handshake
We
hug.
met briefly, yes.
He looks about identical to what he did last time. He's quite short. He's 5'6".
Well, then I talk to him like this.
5'7".
Hello.
Isn't that about how tall Branna is?
I think so. Hold
5'6",
on.
you said?
Yeah,
like
Branna's a
5'6",
short
5'7".
king.
I thought Branna was a little
Don't talk
taller.
to short people like this.
You see him, like, he actually
He's 5'7".
straightens up when you do that.
I don't do that to him, actually.
But,
no,
like,
no.
any kind of, like, glance, he squares his shoulders and stands up tall, and he just immediately does look bigger, but you're aware. You've seen shorter creature throw on. The king could do that. Just, like, kind of a, I'm here. And he shakes your hand. He's got a very firm handshake, and he's like, good to see you, my friend.
Yes, yes.
Happy to be here. Thank you for letting us crash. We ought to happy. Ember's holding you. And then
Like a little baby.
he walks, as you're walking back, he goes, long trip for us, took nearly, well,
Just
10
this
seconds.
one. What?
Yes, you as
What?
well?
He looked at a watch, which was kind of funny. A non-existent watch.
Yeah.
It's a
The
sundial.
watch that he
It's
has.
the sundial. It doesn't work. 'Cause
Gotta adjust for time zone.
Yeah. It seemed important that you came here.
Or who are you asking?
Ember.
Ember's like, well, to where you are, like he's just a big airboat. We just go. But yes, uncomfortable to have serious conversation over, and nobody throws word sanitatum for fun.
No.
Yes. She kind of talks as she's headed towards Azra to give Azra a hug. When Azra reacts, she steps back, and she shakes your hand. It's good to see you as well. You're well. She kind of looks past you and is like, "Is that yours?"
Ori,
Yeah.
while he's unconscious, I can say yes.
Alibroth laughed in character.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
Axel comes forward and is kind of like, "Yeah," When you can even yes, but when you seem uncomfortable, he's like, he holds out his hand. It's like, good to see you.
No, I don't.
It's cool. It's cool.
Sure.
You hug Ember because Ember hugs fix everything. Yes.
Yes. Also, quite a bit of time spent.
Right. You've had nearly a minute and a half with me.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Was it not good last time?
It was great last time.
He's like,
I don't understand what's going on, though.
he goes, to fight. You didn't make it.
No.
Do your scars cause pain?
What? What did you say?
You can see them.
Yes. What? He looks genuinely confused. I don't look at people the same anymore, I guess. What do you mean I can see them? I can see them.
Alibroth.
Physically, I can see them. No one else can
Sure.
until
There's
now.
that way with many wounds.
Do you have some insight into that? I actually cast Regenerate to
Sure.
remove.
Divine magic does not fix everything. It cannot fix how we see ourselves.
You see me how I see myself?
Vaguely.
Oh, so it's you that's the problem.
Make an insight check. This would be crazy DC.
I want Gift of Gab so I can undo him saying that. I don't know if I can actually take back other people's words.
That's quite bad. 15.
With a 15, like, he's being honest. He knows that his thing is weird, but he forgets sometimes.
Yeah.
He's like, I also, like, I go through time, so time heals all wounds, but, like...
Sure.
Anyway,
Sure.
don't worry about it.
Just stop doing that.
But no
So-
pain?
No.
Okay. And he just, like...
Yeah. So, I sanitate him.
all together, maybe, for things?
Sure. Yes.
Unless specific?
No.
No, okay.
But someone inside, we don't necessarily. I don't want to burden him with the knowledge that I have.
Oh, sure.
We
We cannot always shoot, but probably we will ask if this is a safe place, if maybe he wants to not be there, or we can gather. He looks around, he's like, oh, this is Delastonia.
Yes.
We could go talk at beach. How far from city?
A couple of hours. I
Okay,
think.
so maybe the beach is near,
Maybe.
probably. Okay. Ember, or the Axel kind of is like, cool, walks up, just immediately offers a hand. Like, yes. Hello, cool. He is sleeping. He's not, the sleeping one is not who you meant.
No.
Okay.
No, he
Because he was not here last time.
no, he already knows everything that we would be talking about. This is more to inform yourselves and ask for advice, but
Sure. Okay. Yes. So, are we going inside?
Yes.
Ember's already gone
I
in,
forgot I raised Ember too. Oh, yeah.
grabbed whoever was closer to the door, being very familiar, into a hug, and then grabbed the other one into a hug. So, like, it's so good. It's been so long. You have grown up. Both of you look very... Yes.
Thanks, I think.
Thank you.
And then shortly behind her is Axel walks in. Ronnie, roll an insight check for me.
Uh-oh.
Nothing.
Inside check.
Ember.
That's 16 plus 8. 24.
Plus your belt.
Oh, plus my
It's 25.
belt. Yeah, I
think
was
is
gonna
all
say. I
right
think
now.
it's only 25.
25 was the DC.
Yay!
Two things happen to Ronnie at once. First, he sees Axel with his new lenses of boys. Axel's hot. Axel's a character I played in a different campaign. Axel is hot. His silver hair, silver eyes, blue skin, darker on the edges, cool tattoos and webs, and just that air of super confidence. But what you rolled for is you see Axel see you and recognize a grown-up in a way that he didn't before. It's kind of like, you see Axel kind of a little check you out.
You know what I'm going to say?
Hi.
Running.
Man, I'm going to see.
Ronnie is not used to being perceived as an adult.
It's different, and I think Ronnie the most dramatically has had the baby fat wear off a little. Like, it's the most dramatic, subtle change of he looks like an adult now.
Yeah.
All the way. And Axel looks to be around 22, 23.
How you do?
But walks in, he looks at you, he goes to shake your hand too. Shakes your hand, shakes Branna's hand, and then walks up to your dad and says, Axel, and meet your dad. And Ember disattaches herself from whoever she's holding at the moment and also goes and introduces herself to your dad. Your dad is busy making like the table with just so much food. You feel like it's probably one of the short tables that you just sit cushions around. There's an extraordinary amount of food.
Nowhere to put your drink. The table's too full.
Yeah, like, and then he looks at you. He's like, "This is who you were expecting?" Yes.
Yes.
Is it everyone you were expecting?
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Axel goes, "I think so." Yes.
I mean, Ronnie is going to check with Octavia, who sent the message, and Ember, who would be the determiner of whether or not there's anyone else coming.
Your dad is quite attuned to like vibes as a thing, and he kind of looks at all of you and he's like, I hope you guys will excuse me. Enjoy lunch, really. I have like rounds on the island. And you recognize that your dad is both being gracious and you probably wouldn't love to be the like outsider who would still ask all the questions to know all the things. He's like, there's time needed here as a factor. I'm going to catch up with Oni for a little bit. And he's like, I'll be back. And he glances at you. He's like, when rounds are done, you know, he'll probably be gone about 3 or 4 hours.
Ronnie, how did your father meet your mother? Curious.
How does anyone meet anyone?
They seem like
Your mother showed up in a literal thunderstorm, just being self-involved and wanting to grab some dragon from the island for a thing she was making.
Yeah, and Ronnie would basically know that story, but would not
Necessarily, like...
just noting the two
it's-
personalities that we now met them like, how did this work out?
Ronnie would have a difficult time describing how anyone would meet his mother.
I don't wish to know the mechanics of it, just more historical evidence of it.
She appeared.
Just
But I do think Ronnie wonders for the first time, like, what would his mom be like if she was removed from all the social, all the servant, all the that? Like, how much of it goes which way?
why didn't they try to make it work, at least for the children?
The child.
Well,
Weird to pluralize that.
That's how you sneeze, Jason.
How you sneeze quiet. I tried. Anyway.
whatever. Okay.
So yeah, there's a table overladen with amazing spice.
Pretty sure that's my focus
Yep.
right now.
You guys all sit down, just chow down for a few minutes. I don't know if anybody brings up anything specific or you just kind of small talk.
Octavia's pretty much all business, so if nobody says anything, she's going to launch into everything that we've learned.
Ronnie
As a
will
rule supplement.
tell Alibroth. His mother appeared in a thundercloud, and that's how they met.
Not your typical romantic tale, but still interesting.
Like I said, how does anyone meet anyone?
Would there be a typical kind of romantic kind of meeting with a air djinn? Or any kind of djinn?
Practically a deity. I've heard worse stories, but okay.
Didn't realize we wanted to expand the definition of deity. I really thought we were maybe going the other way.
I want to know exactly what's on the list.
Yeah.
Ronnie's
Yeah.
dad
Who's on
had
the
toast
chopping
in his
block?
mouth and he
Or
was
it's missing
running
food.
late to
That
school.
sucks.
It,
We'll throw some drink on it.
yeah. All of you guys eat heartily. Like they listen attentively to you, and
While she does that, I do go outside and like put some jerky like next to Ori. So if he wakes up at like 2 o'clock in the morning, it's just like, oh. And it just goes back to sleep.
you know you've woken up to your fair number of like midnight snacks around you, and it's great. But like he's still softly snoring. Like
Just kind of
no more drool because Azra cleaned it up, and I think that's sweet. But we'll be asleep for quite some time.
Azra, as Octavia is explaining things to Axel and Ember, she's going to be trying to read Ember's expressions for any sort of reaction to knowledge about the sanitatum that
Roll an
someone
insight
shouldn't
check
know.
with advantage. If that's what you're scrutinizing, you get advantage.
Yay! That's what I wanted.
You're a kind and benevolent DM.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
That's
Not
an
that one time she
18.
murdered me.
18 total?
Yeah.
With an 18, you catch fairly early on that Ember is a good mentor, is going to listen to everything her protege says, and not like, she's very good about not interrupting people, about asking clarifying questions. What you recognize with an 18, which is pretty good, is a intentional poker face. You don't know what it means maybe, but you know that she is,
I've got a hunch.
yeah.
Also, I don't have any record of this, but I remember when we did the second Oblex fight, and we all had like extracted our memories and stuff, and there was that whole thing about Azra not taking embers. I think Azra wrote herself a note.
She did.
Okay, you remember that?
Yes.
Did Azra read that and did she understand the note that she left for herself?
It said exactly what it said that day. Do you know what it said that day? I will text you if you don't know.
Yeah, I think I have a guess. It was like the.
You
I
don't
didn't want
have-
to. I didn't want to say ember explicitly, but I used some like euphemism for ember, like coal or something. Like coal knows what happened before. Period. Something like that. Was that it?
Roughly, it was Ember knows what happened
Oh, just said
during
ember.
the
Okay.
sanitatum.
Okay.
But that's the note I handed you. What note Azra wrote is up to you. Say Cole.
Okay.
whatever.
Then yeah, I think Azra already has confirmation that Ember specifically knew these things a long time ago.
Yes, that's all the information, because immediately, like, Ember's just kind of a presence, flows in, flows out. It's not a lot of time with her, but
Then
yeah.
Okay. So this is just kind of sort of seeing with my own eyes, just the way that
And
she's acting.
that
is
would
like,
make
yeah.
sense.
Knowing what else we know about Kalistar now.
As you kind of glance, everybody else roll an insight check with no advantage.
Oh, but we like advantage.
Well, if you like it so much,
Natural
why don't
20.
you?
Hey!
For a total of
Axel!
31.
I will wait till everyone else's stuff gets in.
16. I've been rolling like absolute trash.
Yeah.
22.
29.
We know all.
Literally
Everyone
can't hit those numbers.
above a 25, what you know is that with the natural 20, what I will give you is you recognize a poker face on Ember, and you know she knows more. You basically get the same kind of note almost that Azra had with an nat 20, which is she knows what happened. Axel has no interest in a poker face.
He
Okay.
doesn't seem the kind to.
He has a curiosity he cannot tame that is like, oh, what? And if you got above a 25, you have distinct impression that he can't keep everybody's perception of every event in his head, and he's clearly jumping around. So everything kind of is news to him, and nothing is news to him. But
He's surprised that this is happening now, but not surprised that it
he
happens.
gets mixed up. Yeah,
That's fun.
That's how that happens. And I will give you one further thing with your natural 20 is that you recognize that Axel, you would surmise that they became acquainted because of the sanitatum, is what you understand.
Interesting.
But yeah, like you finish out, and Axel's like, that is a lot of information, a lot of.
I also tell them like what we're maybe gonna do with Vare. Why I said Vare.
Yes, and Ember's like, he came because there is because of regulation about religion, and it actually seems like, and Axel goes, that should not have happened. People do not tend to regulate. You cannot regulate thoughts. Like you can't regulate them. And it shouldn't have happened again so soon, or if ever. Like, this is not tolerance. We don't.
Sure. I don't think anybody's under any other belief about whether this is the right thing to do or not.
Sure, but, like, it doesn't happen. I was born several thousand years after, 1,800 years after Sanitatum. And it does not...
Hmm?
Huh?
He said
Just,
he
just
was,
roll that back.
he
Just,
said he was a time traveler.
So you were born like 1,500 years from now.
Yes. What is now? What?
Now is only like 300 years after the Sanitatum.
Okay.
Does the land in the future
You
know
say
about
the
my great
precise
axe?
year, and he acknowledges it. It's like 357 or something. What?
Does the future know about the great axe I did?
Yes, great
I
axe.
knew it.
In the history books. He's clearly putting on a face.
What acts are coming up for our great and
Well, the
powerful
ones I've already
Alibroth?
done.
He winks at you. It does not happen that way.
Okay. Nobody likes to play in the space, I guess.
Ember's like, okay, so every time traveler, fixed points. There's only so much of what's ahead and what's that they can do.
For some insight on what Ronnie is gathering, he fully misinterpreted the word acts as axe,
I did
like
too
chop.
for a second.
So
was
he's
like,
not
what?
following.
How about
Check that great axe is
Also-
object.
Yeah,
Threw
so
me for a second.
yeah, Ronnie's not following the
Speaking
conversation.
of assaulting, I need Ronnie for a favor. Before we turn in for the night or whatever, since it's getting late.
4 in the afternoon.
And we're mid-conversation.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was letting the DM know I need Ronnie for something at some point when we're like.
Alibroth always needs Ronnie.
We all do.
And Amber's like, yeah, we do not understand. He can't. We're not supposed to. You cannot dictate who someone will be. It's an alarming precursor to.
Sure.
I know nobody's disagreeing. That's why we show up when you say sanitatum. Is actually we were investigating, hadn't gotten really anywhere yet.
Yeah. I mean, we only came by the information of what happened by way of Azra's research.
Right in your
And then a conversation.
Yeah.
your meeting, Axel glances. He's kind of like understood the extra equipment aspect of you guys, and he's like, "You are champions for?" Yes, like
Yeah.
it's exciting time. It's an exciting time, and it is special. You guys have done well. And he's taken the lute that Ember has, and he's sitting there just kind of casually strumming, like in a, you guys would recognize kind of a constant, a little bit of healing effect that you've seen before. It's a song of rest that he just kind of perpetuates as he goes.
Ronnie as from the earlier thing we observed, just kind of.
What's
Eyes emoji.
what is your plan with council? Like what?
Essentially, just to talk to them.
And say
We
they can
wanted them
ask and
we wanted to try and get the mandate reversed.
I mean, if they know that there's a possibility of history repeating itself because of these actions, which no one understood back then, which is the god's fault, we're hoping that if they understand what might happen, they're not going to do it.
it's actually not Axel, it's Ember. He's like, Ember goes, is the god's fault? And you already know that Ember's been thoroughly neutral in God conversations. She just has no like mark of whatever or anything. She's pretty neutral, but she's like, the god's fault for
Not telling people that they were going to do what they did, given the course that they were taking.
But they were outlawed everywhere,
That didn't all happen at once.
right?
And certainly, the gods being as powerful as they are, they couldn't get a message to somebody? That's ridiculous.
Would you have believed it?
I mean, the gods are real and they speak through something. They say, hey, we're going to do something if you don't cut it out. Yeah, I'd believe them.
No, if they're... That's not what I mean.
Okay.
I mean, if you are someone who is skeptical of the gods and the role that they play, and they tell you, hey, if you take this certain action, it would cause this other unwanted side effect. So we would advise that you don't do that. In order to keep from having the material plane proverbially go up in flames. And you're someone who does not believe anything that they say. Why would you believe them?
I don't think believing what they said was part of the reason that the Sanitatum started in the first place. They just didn't like how much they meddled.
Have you been to the Feywild? And this is Axel. Have you gone to the Feywild to check?
No, I was thinking that was something we would follow up on to...
I'm just curious. I have not been there. I mean, I have, but not here, not now, not then,
but
not later.
But also, I don't know how much of a time sink that would end up being, given that we don't know where in the Feywild we are. I don't think any of us has a good grasp on the size of the Feywild.
Axel goes, it's roughly a week for a day-ish.
In which direction?
The time there is, like here a week goes by, there a day goes by. Ish.
Oh, so that would be awful.
For
If it took us a week to find them, it would...
No.
And by the time we came back, it would have been 7 weeks here.
Which makes sense if you have not visited. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like that's you said you don't know the time. That's the time.
Yeah, so humongous time sink if we don't find them immediately.
Sure. Yeah. And he just is he's very open in his demeanor. He was not judging anything that's happened yet. He's just asking.
Yeah.
And he's like, but like 7 to 1, like it's been how long? What year? What year?
357.
So they could be alive. People alive.
Sure, but even if they weren't, there could be descendants, I suppose, still living in it, some sort of like child civilization or culture from these people, assuming that all of them survived
Yeah.
living in the Feywild.
For sure. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, firsthand is best, obviously. Like,
Sure.
There'd be some of that even for. So,
People texting me.
but, like, okay. Yes, you want to talk to council to try and get, we came here to tell you that does not happen without interference. Like, society tries to get more tolerant because Pantheon. There's so many gods are real and are trying, so we try to whatever you believe, do not hurt each other. It is wildly unusual for kibosh on all gods. That's
You're thinking there's somebody on the Council of Vaya or somebody working behind the scenes to try to do this? I mean, I guess I sort of figured.
yes, as necessity but temporary. He hands out rings of mind shielding to every single one of you. Temporary, I have to keep because I go through. Yes.
Sure.
And we need a few minutes to attune. Was more or less the safety of Shimmering Hall, roughly, mind shielding, and you already have one, actually. I think
I do, yeah.
Yeah, is like it makes sense to you. There's somebody who messes with stuff would carry them with him, but it also makes sense to you that he seems specifically attuned to maybe not wanting gods to listen and hang out. But yeah, he's like, so anything else happen? Anybody get a cool new trick? Are we sparring? And you just kind of pass the time while you wait for them to attune. And he's playing a song. We can skip through that unless anybody thinks super relevant stuff happens.
Ronnie tells us more of the ins and outs of
Yeah.
air chin.
Well,
No.
if there was an opportunity to spar, I'd be like, Ronnie, can you come outside real quick and bring your bow?
Okay.
And actually, I reach over and just kind of go, and Rana, you come too.
Why?
Just trust me on this.
Is this a private thing? Or should
No,
we-
y'all come out and watch too.
Amber invites you to like spar, and I don't think anything wildly significant happens, but like you spend the time, but the deliberation doesn't escape you that like waiting until somebody's in touch with wearing this and letting it take effect seems like a very wise precautionary measure.
Sure.
I walk Ronnie over to a spot and just kind of go like, right there. Okay. Ronnie, come over here. Okay. Right. Just stand right there next to me. Right there.
I feel another like fire dagger.
Okay, Ronnie.
Ronnie is getting the creeping sensation of he's gonna be asked to do the equivalent of stabbing Octavia with the fire dagger.
I was thinking that or like William Tell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very William Tell situation.
No. Good. I don't care. What is your AC? Just out of curiosity.
Oh my god, okay. My AC is... Go back to... my AC, now that I actually have armor on, is 17.
Okay, good. So I do in character. Just in case, be ready to dodge. Okay, Ronnie, shoot an arrow at Branna, please. And I'm standing right next to Branna. But I have my shield. Don't do well.
Roll an
Just
insight
do
check,
okay.
it's fine.
Yeah. I rolled
Curious what
higher
this
than I
number is
did
going to be.
He's trying to check his new equipment. He's excited about his new toy.
Yeah, it's still a...
And you know that Ronnie's gonna send the most basic ass arrow towards you that you're just like, you know what? I haven't been tested in a while. Fucking bring it.
Yeah, he's just gonna stand there.
So, just to clarify, how well do you want me to do at this?
Not very.
You
But
target like you're pretty confident.
I mean,
you're
go for it.
targeting
I'm
like
not getting shot. So
like grazing the arm, and you feel
Okay.
pretty confident about being able to do that.
Okay.
In addition, you know you cannot kill Branna with a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
This
just...
is your dad testing his leather armor vibes that you're getting. And
Okay.
You're like, okay.
Rana will be fine.
Take
Anyway,
out kind of a training
So-
arrow-ish that can do some damage,
Fire
but
off.
it cannot kill
30
Branna.
to hit. It's no problem.
Okay, as the arrow leaves,
No sweat.
I activate the Sentinel Shield.
And then what happens?
In front of us, a barrier 20 feet high and 20 feet wide appears, purple and shimmering. Covering the area, and your AC is now +4.
21.
You see a
Okay,
force
now-
shield
I
kind
still
of
hit
a...
you.
You
Still hit
don't take the full... you take... let me see. I like to, half damage.
You don't have to like roll all this. You do get... Go ahead.
I do have a quick question on what, because I have uncanny dodge as well.
Mm-hmm.
In the future, not right now, it doesn't matter now.
I said
Can I
pretty
take
high.
half of a half? Like, does uncanny dodge stack with this shield?
I think it does when you see it coming like that, like when this is all very deliberate. So what you're going to experience is you do get grazed, and that kind of makes Alibroth a little bit of an asshole for telling you to fire an arrow at you, but you're not like seriously hurt, and you're able to mitigate it. You recognize training vibes.
Yeah, from across the yard, you hear, I don't ever want to hear shit from any of you ever again.
You hear almost all of that, and then it cuts off as you get whacked in the face for not paying attention. Meanwhile, Axel inside the house is like, my god came out of Sanitatum, so...
I was outside
And is
watching.
also not listening. You're what?
I was outside watching.
Okay, then no, that doesn't happen.
All right, how much damage
Axel
did
can
you take,
go
by the way?
fetch me.
Not much. He's not going to. Like, he's going to give you your space.
I didn't
Unless
even
it was
roll
just-
damage.
He will talk if you're
Ronnie
alone
is
sitting at the
only
table, like
shooting
that.
in
I'm
a
the
way
only one
that
not
might
sparring or
snap a
involved,
strap on
so
your
probably.
armor.
Oh, yeah. So he comes out. And
Yeah, I took like no
I
damage.
figured you got out your punching bag arrow.
he's like,
I
I was gonna say,
Your glove arrow,
I see
yeah.
the nick and go like, yes, you didn't get that hurt.
Think of how much worse it could have been.
I was
Channel
fully
divinity.
thinking, did you ever watch
Hey,
The
buddy.
Swan Princess?
And
Where he's
just
got like
I'm
the
glad I
paintball
brought my-
arrow?
Yeah,
My
yeah.
no, repair kit with me, and he has like a sewing kit.
as you're kind of like talking that out, you recognize healing word gets cast on you. Axel
that turns into a swan.
cast healing word on you. You see like a spider web kind of across your scratch, and then it just pulls together. And he's like,
Oh, I was going to use mending.
he's like, hey guys, you maybe don't fight. You're quite powerful. Don't fight for fun. My friend Prestige punched me in the face, hurt for weeks. I was very, very strong.
This one allowed herself to be stabbed with a fire dagger.
I don't think you get to bring that up anymore.
Winks at Octavia and says, "We've
More
all
than-
been there." Roll a Constitution saving throw to see if you maintain concentration on your fight. As you hear something embarrassing about your past.
More than allowed, requested.
In the future, Azra,
26.
get behind the barrier.
Yeah.
Now I roll good.
You kind of
I'm most
throw
comfortable
Ember off
behind
her
barriers,
balance
actually.
a little bit, and you kind of hear like nobody's judging you for this thing. Your friends are razzing you, and then
I think
Amber
I was
goes
the
to
wrong
tackle you and
person.
you dodge.
I think I was
Good
the wrong
shot.
person to ask.
And you
Barely
guys
hurt him.
just kind of goof off for a little bit. Axel glances at you and says, maybe we not use high-level spells with to spar, right? Yes?
We're going to go to bed soon, so that was,
Were you
I can
thinking
only
of
do that
sparring?
once a day.
I don't know. All of them are fighting. Like, I'm just saying, like, maintain, right? Yes?
good.
Cool.
Yes.
Don't fight the level 20 more.
I'm just saying.
We spar every morning when we study our spells. That is our
Counter
preparations.
spell.
I shot one arrow.
And then, like, you guys,
And-
even as you're goofing off, and even as Axel seems extremely distractible, like precisely about the 1 hour, he pulls you back inside, and he's like, okay, so mind shielding is good. don't always know why show up somewhere. This could not happen without a specific god influencing. This is a god cheering for other gods to be deprioritized.
How do you know this?
Do you know who?
Because, is not for sure, but in a realm of 2,500 years, sometimes my god, who came out of Sanitatum, first Sanitatum, rose after first Sanitatum, happened because something was wrong with magic and kind of time. So, gods cannot take direct action against gods. But, first time Sanitatum happened, my god created, and they cannot lift hands against other gods, or other gods will eliminate them. They just cannot be sustained. So there was suspicion already. But now...
Suspicion about what?
There was suspicion that the first time Sanitatum was encouraged by God. But...
Which
Yes.
god?
Which one do you worship, and which one are you referring to?
I worship Mistra. And you recognize Mistra is the most common god that wizards associate with. It is the weave of magic.
Mistra did not pre-exist the Sanitatum?
No.
And I don't think Azra... I think we would have
It's
assumed
not
Mistra...
well-known
Yeah.
information. Like, Azra not being able to locate specific history of magic type stuff before, it's kind of not shocking to her because of what she's read. She's aware that gods are created sometimes.
I wonder how seriously wizards even take a god of magic, because we don't...
Right, like,
Yeah.
it kind of falls in this weird binary where, like, half of them are like, if I worship any god, it's magic, and the other one's like, I clearly don't worship any god, I
do
doing
magic.
magic the right way.
Yeah.
So, like, you know?
I mean, kids at space camp like Buzz Aldrin.
What?
Kids at space camp respect Buzz Aldrin, shortly.
This
He
is
didn't
more-
invent space.
Yes,
This
he
is
did.
more...
Oh, sorry, I'm so sorry. No. He invented the moon.
This is more like
No,
how
Hollywood
much...
invented the moon.
I bet space people are more well informed about astrology. Like,
Yeah.
have some understanding of that. And it falls in this weird contempt or respect. Go ahead.
Astrology or astronomy?
Astrology.
Oh,
They
okay.
probably know more about it. And
A lot
whether
of them
they
are
think
based on
that's
constellations.
cool or not.
Yeah.
Like,
The whole thing is as above, so below.
it'd be about 70-30, I feel like. The 70% are just like, but the 30% of wizards you did know that felt any kind of religious would tend towards Mistra. As a...
I'm having trouble imagining like
there's
a
gotta
Neil
be-
deGrasse Tyson type who's like, I'm a Scorpio.
with Libra rising. I don't know how it works, but like, yeah.
I've never heard him say that.
But
Is
I
he
think
a
it's more vague than that. It's like people who love both nature and technology. It's this weird other thing. Is there, like, even wizards would recognize there has to be another factor. Some wizards think it's like programming. It can be entirely explained by what you see every time, and other people feel like they get inspired.
He's
Just
a Libra.
inspired to create a thing.
Of course he is.
He's a what?
He's a Libra.
No, he can
I
live.
have no idea.
That's right.
Oh,
like
I don't actually
Octavia's
know.
still a Cancer.
God, yeah.
Huh?
Anyway,
What do you got against cancers?
Cancer's the little bitch.
Like,
sign.
that could be stating a fact or an insult.
I'm a Cancer. Cancer's the little bitch sign.
All right.
Anyway,
Anyway, it's like is there a force that inspires you to write code? Like, some people would feel like yes. It's not the majority,
Money.
it is the minority, but there are people who are like, I felt inspired. Hey.
Yeah.
And gods do exist. And you guys all know that, which is the difference from other things.
Buzz Aldrin doesn't exist.
It's like a joke. I had.
I've legitimately heard Buzz Lightyear in my
He
head.
does exist.
In our hearts.
But I was like, Buzz Lightyear, space, yeah, makes sense anyway.
I took a picture with Buzz Lightyear, so
I
can't
bet
confirm.
Ronnie did too.
He does exist.
The real Tamala?
But yeah, it's like, I don't remember where we were.
pretty sure
Mistra. He
Woody
worships
was
Created
Mistra.
out of Sanitatum.
Tamala's Buzz. Woody is,
To protect something that existed, that should exist. Magic should not be interrupted in daily life like that. I see a vibe, but also like, yes, we all agree. Yes, magic should not be interrupted. We should not need interference to. This should not happen again, and this definitely would not happen again within thousands of years. It is why I'm here. Mistra was created to help protect.
Who do you think is doing it?
I think is he kind of looks around, almost like paranoid all of a sudden for the first time, and he glances at all your rings and he's like, there is God called Karad, God of destruction, God of also has affinity for Feywild, but wants to destroy. Is God of knowledge, wants to destroy knowledge. Karad.
Selfish.
Yes, he tricked people into giving magic, and gods do not know how he became God, I think. So, trick people into giving magic to him, but also has connection with Feywild.
what kind of connection? As in...
Just normally it is allow people to travel freely between, but only his people at high enough level. He's the only god we can think of that would desire to create environment where no other god exists, because knowledge be destroyed, no one gain a foothold, and he likes to destroy. Yes, but also, like, if you control belief, then you control society. So, accelerate for souls, and he becomes stronger through destruction. Gods become stronger two ways: belief and realm of influence. If you can influence how much destroyed, you could, in theory, gain power. He takes his lute back down. He's playing a calming tune kind of naturally as he recognizes the weight of his words.
So instead of maybe working with, maybe trying to break away from mostly benevolent gods, there's a specific one that wants to kill all the other ones. And we're trying to maybe make that happen, maybe not.
Well, you cannot go to war. You can go to war with all gods. You may do that. That is because you believe what you believe and you follow what you follow. In general, gods cannot make you believe, make you not believe. Not allowed. People should not be able to do that, but it can happen. High levels of magic.
Are you talking about people should not be forced?
People should not make other believe, make other not believe.
This is not his first language.
Not
Clearly.
like About events, it can happen. About all of life is crazy level of control. And really about events should be very careful.
I have nothing. I have nothing. I have no plan. I barely understand this information.
Ember goes, if you have other questions about Sanitatum, I was there.
Hey,
Octavia gets up and walks out.
She follows you.
Yeah.
But she doesn't, as you walk a distance from the house, I assume.
Yeah.
She doesn't keep following you. She walks outside when you walk outside. But she gives you some distance.
We always knew that her people were still here. Or were there and still here.
Something about their nature made them exempt. So they remained after everyone else.
Well,
was
they've
taken.
also got
Axel
like
goes,
a.
I can explain that part.
I was gonna say,
please,
they've also got
enlighten us.
like an
Their
evil
souls
thing.
come from a different plane. They are refugees. The souls are refugees from eternal plane. So they cannot be claimed by any god. So they could not be forcibly moved or changed or arranged by any god. They're possessed of something extra.
I was afraid it was something more sinister. Okay.
Ember has special extra things on top. You have seen her breakdown, yes?
She's very special, yes.
Yes, but seen the stasis, yes?
Yes.
And he kind of glances at you and he does a little hone in on you. Yes, you've seen something else? Something else? Yeah, there is. She can tell you things about that. I would not share it, but yes, that is why Kalishtar exempt from any of that.
Then why was the dragon able to end her in such a way?
Well, they are temporary as any of us. It is the soul. Your soul, claimed by Bahamut. Yes.
Hope I didn't prevent her from
It
something else.
does not make them exempt to other standard rules. It's just a weird extra thing. That is who her voice and head is.
If a Kalishtar's soul cannot be claimed by any deity, where would Ember's soul have gone if Alibroth had not been able to save her?
They don't go anywhere. They are eternal souls, but they
Hopefully
would
everyone is.
inhabit other body who did not yet have soul. Like
A body without a soul?
yes, like a moment of baby being born. Like there's just kind of a
Or
millisecond of time where no one is there
Sin is
yet.
stored in the balls. Sorry.
Specifically, in this universe, it happens at birth. It's just not. It happens at birth.
Ridiculous. We all know the soul is in the spinal cord.
I said that sin is stored in the balls
Oh, okay.
because
Fair.
that's
That
a,
makes a lot of
1,000%. Yes.
Yeah.
No,
I heard it all the way. I'm just like, really? No.
He's like,
Sin
I
is
do
in the
not.
balls, soul's in the spinal cord.
Which is why only men can sin.
That's true.
It's not true in Tyranna. But
say,
yeah, he's like,
I've done some
He's
weird
like, I don't
reading
know
on
all
going
math.
medieval.
but soul exists. Memories of life do not exist in abnormal way, but the soul move around.
Weird.
Meanwhile, our two frontline fighters just ran outside. Hopefully they don't.
What does
come
Octavia
with
do?
blows out there.
She kind of stands out for a couple minutes and calms down. And she walks up. She's like, "You don't have to tell me everything, but I just really feel like that's information that I could have used. And I don't know when you will find me worthy of telling me the truth."
Ember goes, I maybe should have. We do not talk about my childhood. Like, we just don't. It doesn't come up. It's why I'm here. When Sanitatum got brought up, because of trust we build, the second you bring Sanitatum up, I show up to tell you.
I understand, but you know the purpose of, I don't know, my order, our order, is to find out what happened. That is what the duty of the Kestrel Dawn is.
The duty of Kestrel Dawn is to preserve knowledge.
It is. The main, I don't know, a different word, mission was about finding out with the Senate. That's what I was told.
I think Octavia realizes for the first time that, like, actually she has gained a number of, like, amount of experience outside, that your paths have diverged to an extent. Like, because Ember's face is reflecting kind of surprise. Like, this is not what she thinks of it as. And she's like, I am sorry. I'm not always good at reevaluating and telling. I did not mean to hide from you. I do not actively think about it.
It's not the end of the world. That's in.
She kind
Which Octavia actually does say that in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She kind of reaches out and she takes your arm a little and she goes, "No, I should have told you by now."
I appreciate that. I needed to step away and calm down so that I could get back to, being helpful. I very much appreciate that.
She smiles and she goes, you are always helpful. I do wonder if I could not read mine, if I would have been as far as you are now. Can I eliminate forever insecurity like you? Every value.
I understand. I understand. I think we should go back inside. We need to figure out, obviously, what to do.
Are you okay with Axel see scars?
It was very surprising. I have to be honest. No,
I
it's okay.
did not know. I did not see. But I tried to stay out of head.
Sure.
But I realize apparently you see there's a thing. And she looks at you for one of the first as like a true peer, and she goes, "That's not most important right now." Yes.
That's not most important right now.
She goes, and then she puts her arm kind of hesitantly around your shoulders, and she's like, "I would love to talk to you as friend about that someday."
Sure, absolutely. Just not into.
Yeah. So they come in after pretty brief, as he kind of explains to you the quarry. It's called quarry souls that inhabit the Kalishtar. And they come back in pretty fast, and you observe that they seem to be okay, although it was clearly Octavia hadn't known that.
So, where are we going?
There's just no way. Whatever God, there's just no way that we're going to be able to convince people to not do the things that this God wants, right?
Well, we probably, and this is Ember's, like, we probably could find, maybe, there's probably voice that push for this. Don't know.
I mean, there's only so many people that would actually be worshipping a god of destruction and doing their bidding. Most people are being manipulated.
Sure.
If we could maybe point that out, bring that to the light of day, maybe they would reject their emotions.
I was going to say,
I'm not
given that this is a God who is more powerful in ignorance, I would think, like, bringing the knowledge to light would be beneficial.
It could even weaken them, yes.
Yeah.
So, plan really hasn't changed. Sleep Godovea.
Now we're more armed with a malicious name behind.
Oh.
Yes, you will want to be careful about displaying, asking specific questions. All likelihood, this god's name will not be brought up. Like,
Oh, we'll find out.
he is not stronger god, but he is a god. And then this is Axel is like, gods can be created, gods can be destroyed.
I
But
would think
gods cannot lift hands against other gods because that has to be the number one prime directive is phrase I would use.
I would
that
think
that has to be most unimpeachable of rules. Mortals
Yeah.
have challenged gods. I
would
do
think
not
that
expect that.
attempt to destroy the god of destruction would be unsuccessful in that endeavor.
I suppose, can a god of death die?
Wasn't Kalimvor not always the god of death?
He-
Correct. Kellenborg was human first.
So perhaps a god of destruction could be destroyed.
Your gods can do for you what they always could, what they always can, as far as support and enable the magic casting of those of you who do through faith. That can always happen, but they cannot directly intervene. I realize I am being frank and this is outside chance of things that could happen, but you are some of the most powerful people in the world, so I feel like you should know.
When we go to Vair, do we need to hide our symbols?
You would be well advised to hide completely symbols, because you'll be asking questions, because you'll be inquiring.
You will probably want to hide your entire face.
I have the disguise.
You can do disguise also. Many of your persuasion are not in tune with how they are touched or changed. So if you are in high level situations, you don't have to hide appearance. Just be like, oh, I don't know. Like,
Alibroth starts eyeing Octavia's hair again.
Octavia's hair is short and black,
It's enough. Didn't say the amount.
although it looks like it's slowly raising out from her head.
What?
Like a Ghibli character.
what
Like-
is this? Is
like
this
anybody with
gig?
that hair
Is
flap
this
in the
joke?
ground.
Is this, what is this?
Oh no, I have a disguise. I use it. It's a mustache. It needs to be a bit refreshed, possibly with some donations from friends.
Cool.
Getting a
He's
little rabbit.
playing the lute, and he puts up a side-by-side of Alibroth with mustache.
Exactly.
And he's like,
Ah, see,
do you,
barely recognizable.
Corporate is asking you to tell the difference between these two pictures. They're
you
the same
kind of
picture.
glance around as all of your friends grow the illusion of a mustache for about like 9 seconds. And then he's like, you do not recognize? Okay. Well, I'm glad you have each other. If you're going to shoot, you're going to...
Yeah, I
No.
have a conversation about face blindness.
Starts just looking at others' hair, just like.
If you come for my hair, you will not have a claw anymore.
I believe you.
Alibroth, do we all look the same to you?
Of course not.
Can you
Double check.
describe the differences?
Some of you are smaller than others.
True.
Yes, it's just Alibroth has face blindness.
I feel like you would notice that Ronnie's a completely different color.
Color.
Yeah.
Yeah. Color? What color was he?
Also,
It's
Ronnie's,
interesting. Axel is a quite similar color,
Yeah.
though is at least in his lighter tones of the light blue. I'm like, yeah.
yes, plus Ronnie's hair is always like doing things. Yours are boring.
Axel
Thank
They
you.
just do. They
looks
just-
at you
yeah.
again as like, I want constant breeze, constant wind in hand. Yeah, it seems a very powerful way to show up. Like,
If you keep running close, the wind will be in your hair at all times.
yes, but I get very tired. I only still exist because I was surrounded by big half Goliath cleric and Dragonborn, actually. Big beefy, kept me alive so many times.
You do
Anyone
have,
else?
You do have lovely hair, by the way.
And he like kind of puffs with thaumaturgy his own thing for a minute, and he's like, "Thank you, my friend."
What does his hair
Yes,
actually
also-
look like?
Oh, I would
It
never
is
sell it down.
silver-ish. It's about this
You all know that.
far down,
the question.
and it's kind of like that. You know that attractive, beachy, stringy look. It's kind of that.
It's got beach waves.
He's got beach waves. He's got little layers towards the end, and
Alibroth
kind of has a
will
mind of
never
its own.
take his hair. It's just too gorgeous. You can't mess
Did you
with that.
protect
I mean, if he would take Ronnie's, he would take Axel's.
But Ronnie's might keep moving. Nah.
Axel kind of looks at all of you guys and he goes, I know you cannot take at face value, but real God, most gods, almost all gods, they don't make you believe, make you not believe. That's not.
Well, we just set out for there. We are able to travel faster than just walking there.
Yes.
We're not slumming it. So.
I may be able to show up if big battle happens. It's not preferred way. I do not know. Yeah. But this is one of very few times in history or future that I show up and just provide information. If you have questions about gods, at some point there is an agreement that Sanitatum never happen again. Or should be.
You're saying there's already a future where
We should not be.
Do you have any idea around about what year?
We
I know very little about
okay.
what year. I will not tell you things you should not know. In normal time, in some time, in one time that goes forward at some point. And certain individual things try to break rule, but no, you cannot break rule. It is law of universe to not tell people what they must believe and what they must not believe about who they are. That is what Mistra does now with magic and with that. You get to decide who you are. She was the third god I tried to find and the only one that stuck.
You and your friends.
There was another girl. There was a small girl. One of the first girl I was friends with. Anyway, just thought I should bring it up.
It's very nice of you to bring her. She sounds nice.
She was quite useless for a long time and then got good.
No, that's
that's-
true.
Had to bring back from dead.
That's also true. All right.
I'm here for any. I think probably I move on after this, at least for a while. Roll an insight check for me. I will give you advantage.
oh,
You
fish
get
for
Thank you very
advantage.
much. Yeah, that's only a 29.
Having recently had this precise experience yourself, you see Ember glance at Axel with that "I used to have a crush on this boy" vibe. You do not think Ember is a cradle robber.
That's getting telenovela.
So you kind of
up in
wonder,
this
like, what happened there. But you also recognize a current absence of that, like that had happened.
Yeah.
But she's still kind of like, "Oh,
Yeah.
buddy." Yes. So, and Ember goes, "I need a favor." And he's like, "Yeah," and she's like, "Oh, take me back home, 'cause." And she looks at you and she goes, "I'm at monastery. I can stay if requested. I feel like separating would be good."
How do we get a meeting with the council? I had 2 options. I was really, really hoping that it would be you.
She looks at you. She kind of glances you up and down. She goes, who is other option?
My father.
Although it may be easiest inroads, you have third option of your own. You are as well known and prestigious as I was when we met. You can get meeting on your own.
Right, but that was when we met, and then you kept going as well.
We're going to need to pull a "do you know who I am?"
Okay.
She goes, "I will do for you if you request, but if that happens, I have no cover to."
So. Okay.
No.
Should Jira be informed of anything that we've discussed? And if so, what should we tell him?
Still got a sending stone.
Yeah.
Ember and Axel kind of like acknowledge the question. Ember says, "We have no supernatural knowledge, but Jira has been consistent. And Jira should probably be told, beware of this belief system that is happening. Do not let it influence." Here, there, he has checked in with you many times, yes?
Yes.
Then probably trust is there to say, do not let this take hold. Jira is... And Ember sits there for a second. She's like, "Yeah, I trust Jira. I would tell him that and trust that you have trust that he will do his best. The information network is his thing."
Okay.
Ronnie has the stone for Jira. He had it the entire time. You had the one for Pebbles.
Oh, well, I thought
And I'm not allowed to talk to people.
Axel goes, it is
As
really
much
people you do not know who they worship or could worship evil or cannot keep their mouth shut. Like, you will have to determine amount of info you share.
Yeah, Ronnie's gonna step outside and go tell Jira.
So take a rest overnight and take a very short trip in the morning.
Any other questions before we go?
I would like to request, could you go over more how you came by the information that all of this behind the scenes might be the doing of this, was it Karad?
Yeah. It
spell
is
from the
longer term. Mistra ascended through a gap. There was something about magic and knowledge that was not there. That is part. I have asked Mistra for divine intervention a few times, and it has been successful. So have had conversations. No other god that exists that I know of has destruction, and your god of death is neutral. Is not for good, not for evil, to help souls cross barrier. In addition, Karad does not exist in the future at some time.
Roundabout what year?
he looks at you. He's like, "You think you are confused? Like, there is things that can be shared with me and things that cannot. I do not know, but gods do not move around to create or destroy. Is a big deal, but mostly, Karad only god of destroying knowledge to set people back."
Sure.
There are gods of war, gods of and their Axel let's see. That was a nat 20. Axel gets really sad.
Oh.
He goes, children left in Sanitatum Fallout. There were runes and marking of that god in some graves. It seems very deliberate. None of those. They just not know something. And Amber goes, in addition, I can answer that when first children grew, Kalishtar tried to teach to read right away. And there was resistance to the idea of learning that we had not seen before or since, as far as I know. They did not want to learn, and children's curiosity is endless. It seemed while we are as sure as we can be that we can understand, it's not all of it's just the only thing that makes sense to us.
I see how you would come to that conclusion that the fallout of the Sanitatum seems to be within the domains of this Karad. Earlier this day, we did get both Bahamut and the God of Death to confirm to us that it was all the gods who did it.
The Karad would not. The Karad could not cause by himself, but gods are free to ask, to try to draw in, to convince as they can. This is the only thing we can think of that seemed to be building for centuries towards less knowledge about divine is good, destroying memories and faith and belief systems is good. I think we all know that people can have faith in bad things, and they can have faith in good things, and people's faith in good things can lead them to do bad things. And vice versa. Like, all those can happen. But targeting you must remain not believing, not calling on anyone. You should be your own island is confusing, and more anyone who pushes for I will control what others believe has to be pushing for, so believe in me or this. Like, and she meets your eyes and she goes, we have explored what we can. We're not saying for sure. But we felt it's helpful to give you a name. This is the god you are trying to ascertain is influencing. Because everyone, influenced by belief, influenced by non-belief, influenced by try to help, try to hurt, try to neutral. But, yes, anyone who tried to control what others believe eventually fails. This stops knowledge spread.
Okay.
You are unconvinced, and you should remain unconvinced.
I don't necessarily. It's not that I'm not convinced. It's just all I'm hearing is about more gods meddling. Just makes me think maybe they were right about something beforehand.
She looks at you, and you recognize, because I told you early on that Azra would develop an understanding of when someone's trying to penetrate her brain. Ember tries very hard to stay out of everyone's brain. And you become aware of, like, there was a time in your life when you kind of very casually would cast detect thoughts. So in some ways, you're aware of a passive kind of thing that'd be easy to just throw out, that she's trying to pull back, but she can just do it. So she's trying to stay out of your head, and she's like, this is the argument that no one should be all powerful, right? Or is this the argument that you should be most powerful? Gods do meddle. Of course they meddle. I do not worship any god. Ayun is a god of knowledge, so, like, I kind of like her, but do not worship Ayun. Like, sure. Absolutely, they do that. They are very powerful. You cannot... I have not found a way to not be influenced by anyone. And she goes, at the same time, I'm glad. Don't like them any more than you do. Stay on that side. We are sending you into, or asking you to go, or you are asking yourself to go into dangerous situation. Skepticism against all is a good stance to have.
Okay.
Even dislike. Good to have. Somebody needs to have it.
It's great that I'm allowed to dislike it, but not allowed to escape it, you know?
Sure. It would be great to not be influenced by anything you don't want to be influenced by, yes?
Yeah.
Only thing I will tell you, if you are seeking a future where you are too powerful to be influenced by a big group being able to destroy you, you are going to lead yourself into much anxiety, trying to stay ahead of any group, any conspiracy, anything that could exist. And Axel did say, there is agreement at some point. Maybe you, maybe all of you, are orchestrator of some bond that cannot be broken.
Hard to imagine that now.
You are tired, and you took quite a bit of damage, it seems. But, like, don't underestimate. You guys have overperformed at every time. I'm not trying to change your mind. And no god should either. She looks at the two of you and she goes, Have you tried to convert?
I haven't had much of a desire to. You mean convert away from our gods, yes?
To your gods, yes.
Oh.
Oh, others?
Yes.
No. That's their decision.
She looks at you again. She goes, I'm not trying to convince, but I will tell you, as you know, your friends are in a good place. Like, no. That has to become normal at some point. No. Did not try. But I would argue that Sanitarium was kind of a result of no one protecting ability to believe in everything.
Okay.
She goes, I have eternal soul in me. My struggle with this is eternal as well. Some things you do not just move past and are fine. That is the only thing I can say that may actually comfort. Some things you never move past and is fine. But you get somewhat better. You become familiar with this struggle sometimes. Did not comfort. Axel goes, I can play song.
She laughs at that, I guess.
And he's like, yes, there is no world where everything fine forever. Cannot create world. I have my god. God before my god almost kill me and poison me. My best friend serve not good god. At the end of the day, anyone who will not let you write this sucks. And he writes, fuck the gods in dust on the table. And he kind of like smiles at you and he's like, you have to be able to say this and still have spider webs of my god on my arms. That is perfect world for me. Yes, yes. You recognize the aura of a calm emotions, like, just to, like, help you. You need to sleep because you're still quite injured, but not an attempt to talk you out of a vibe or make you feel a different way about it.
Did someone cast calm emotions on me?
Yeah. You can make a wisdom saving throw.
I walk out of that room.
Oh no.
They let you go. They don't follow you. They look at the rest of you and is
Where
like...
are you walking?
Well, I got a 2, so I guess it works. I don't know, maybe back outside, probably. That seems to be the place to go.
That's where Ronnie is. Like,
Oh,
he
okay.
left to go tell Jira, but he didn't walk back into the room.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
You see Azra get up and walk out. You recognize, like, this is a problem child that
Look over at the
doesn't
TV.
need to be brought in line, that needs to... I think it's interesting for Ronnie, having done the whole, like, hugging Bahamut, having watched somebody who's one of the faithful, seen the other side of the struggle. If the gods can influence such great change, like, how could they not have prevented it?
Yeah, Ronnie's not really, like, worried about trying to change Azra's mind about anything, because that's an unproductive way to go about interacting with Azra.
Pack a lunch.
He'll just wave, be like, want to sit down?
What was that?
Do you want to sit down? Ronnie's, like, just, like, sitting down, enjoying the night, and like watching the moon through like a gap in the trees.
It's winter and it should be cold, but the sun has set and it's about 5:30.
Yeah,
And like
but
the sun has set and you watch the moon.
Ronnie's
kind of,
air is warm.
Yeah.
it's not cold. It's still Estonia. It's a
Yeah, it's pretty
Coastal
moderate
Temperature,
anyway.
Whatever.
Yes, sitting sounds good. Things got a bit heated. Someone had to cast Calm Emotions on me, apparently. And I know I'm going to be very mad about that later, but it's kind of hard to be mad right now. So...
And Axel's
Call your
is so fucking like pleasant. Like it comes with the scent of eucalyptus and nothing else. No other aura, no other. You just like when people tell you to take 3 deep breaths and you're like, oh fuck, that does help, and that pisses me off. That's where Azra is. It's just kind
I'm
of
so
like
angry, I'm calm.
is that like passive kind of like feel better.
Ronnie is actually going to ask you, do you feel like it was to change your mind or just to help ease the tension in your back?
I think they just did it to end a conversation, honestly.
That sucks.
They just kept talking. They kept trying to get me to change my mind, I think, or reach some sort of position where I wouldn't be mad about everything that's happening. When they couldn't get there, they just cast a spell on me.
I mean, I feel like it would be beneficial to you to not be, like, upset and stressed, like, all the time.
If only I knew they were doing it for me.
Yeah. But it's... If that's where you're at, that's where you're at. In the meantime, we can just chill out here and you can let it ease the muscles in your back while it can and be mad about it later.
I'll be very angry about this tomorrow.
You're talking about my back a lot. Do I have knots or something?
Your posture's really stiff.
It's even more stiff than Azra's normal, if
I
that's
would
possible.
totally expect that from us.
I feel like Azra's always like this.
Every now and then you
and
just
now
walk
it's
over to her and go like,
Yeah.
put your hand in the center of the bag and
Ronnie, how good are you at massages?
I don't know. I haven't practiced, but I could try.
I would like for you to try.
Okay. What should I roll for that?
Animal handling?
Roll a. It's either
Medicine.
dexterity or
Yeah.
intuition, medicine,
Uh,
dexterity. It's up to you.
I'll do a medicine check. I
you should
have,
have gone to Alibroth for that, for medicine. though.
I have a pretty good medicine.
Yeah, the claws might.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And scales. But medicine.
The claws.
21.
A 21.
21 medicine check to give Azra a bit of a back massage.
Like you have like
Massage and
various
acupuncture.
herb packets that your dad just kind of sprung on you. You have essential oils, and you're like lavender with the eucalyptus would go well. Like kind of
Why does it have to be eucalyptus?
because.
Well, it's like I've been waiting for this. Just pulls out a
And
massage
I
table.
feel like Ronnie has
Slightly
an
off camera.
extra understanding because he got it via the belt of the whole calm emotions as I don't want this person to be overcome with what is and should be troubling. Like, I want them to be okay.
Yeah.
Like, that vibe.
Yeah, and it's because Ronnie does actually know how to make, because it's a ranger thing, like different like salves and like shit like that.
Effortlessly goes around the acid damage to like calm Azra without hurting her more.
Yeah, just like something that's not tingling, but like still kind of cooling, and it just kind of dulls the the pain from the tension.
And
So that he
here
can-
in your home, you feel those vibes of like the calm that allows you to not think too much about extra everything throughout time, throughout belief systems, throughout the past, throughout the future, that mindfulness that seems to come with this island of just being here, doing what you can do. And I think you recognize Azra has a thing. She doesn't like to be controlled, to be harshly influenced. None of that exists from the beginning. That's how you met her.
Ronnie will tell you while we're sitting there and he's massaging her back. It's like, I don't really want to go to Vair.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know this about particular people from there, because I love Octavia. She's, one of my best friends, like everyone else who's here with us. Except Axel, because I don't really know him.
Fair.
You recognize a chaos about him. It's like, I don't know how well you can.
I'm glad someone else said his name first. I totally forgot.
That's fine. But their influence on the world hasn't been great, and I don't really want to meet them and be involved with them if I don't have to, but I know I kind of do. But I don't think you're wrong to feel the way you do. I just am not in the business of fucking around and finding out if it's not gonna really be here or there for me.
Feel like that's our profession, though, is the fuck around and to find out.
I don't want to do that. I do that because that's what everyone else is doing, and I'm along for the ride.
Oh. Well, Ronnie, if whatever we're doing is making you unhappy, you shouldn't feel the need to stick around. We can always hang out in between.
You'll make me happy.
That's nice.
So, inside, Axel, having just cast the calm emotions and watched Azra walk out, is like, she did not appreciate. Okay. That is my bad. I will. He looks at Ember and goes, "Are you ready to go?" And Ember goes, "Almost." And she looks at the rest of you who are inside and goes, "None of us are here to dictate anyone's journey. The only thing that I can think of is the only influence sway over Azra to have is maybe, if appropriate, to remind Azra that Azra should be able to choose beliefs and amount of influence, and so should everyone else." Her skepticism may well bring about agreement with gods to never sanitate them again. That may be part of future, but I am happy for championships for you two. She looks again at Octavia and she goes, "Although I'm aware we have maybe things to talk about, I cannot think of another thing about me to tell you. I will tell you all of anything you want."
What's your mother's name?
It was Jamie.
Jamie or Jimmy?
Jamie.
Okay.
Mother's name.
But yes,
Fantasy world.
yes, skepticism is good, but ultimately, like Azra seems to need to be reminded sometimes, everyone should have that. Azra is so powerful.
Oh, yes.
But I think Asdor wants for everyone to be able to choose, which is only thing that I think that matters. Is even not powerful people should be able to choose what they believe and who is allowed to influence. Yeah?
Maybe.
Despite her heathen rhetoric, she's very useful and very capable.
Infinitely.
Alibroth said that clearly as a joke, so.
I know.
And
Heretics everywhere.
Axel just kind of laughs and he's like, he starts kind of getting the elements together for his spell, and he's like, I do not often get to spend so much time with people, and he's kind of absently putting them together. And he's like, and I hope maybe someday, and then they both disappear as he finished his spell. And then outside, as you guys are basking in that, all of a sudden you hear, I'm hungry. And it's Ori. And that's where we're going to cut off our session.
I gave him some jerky.
He was asleep.
Oh.
Thank you, everybody,
And it
for
just goes
joining
like
us. Join us again in maybe 2 weeks. I don't know what 2 weeks from now is, but yes,
so it's like
yeah, we should be able to do it, probably.
It's
We will keep you
before Christmas.
tuned. Hey, thank you for joining us. As we always say around here, keep
on
nerding.
And go check out Tech Force.
Check out Tech Force.
Follow the link in the description. Thank you for the music, buddy.